So before I talk to you about writing a book review, I'm going to show you how to do this on
On Destiny.
Destiny. Yeah. How do I'm just going to hit escape.
Yeah, there you
When
go.
in doubt, hit escape. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. So you don't use it, no, you use Chrome. Okay. So if you go to, you know how to get to the card catalog, Smyrna High School website. Are y'all, hey, distance people, are you looking at me or just listening to me?
I think they can see you in a corner of the screen.
Oh, okay.
Is how that usually works.
Yeah.
Should I bend down a little bit?
No, you're good.
Okay, good. That'd be awkward. Okay. Okay, so when you go to the Smyrna High School website, that looks wonky. You're going to click on card catalog. Yeah, you don't see it up there. Isn't it weird that I would have had most of y'all in class as sophomores? Did you know that? The year that y'all were sophomores was the year that I moved to the library.
Oh,
Yeah, I was sad. I really thought you were going to be my teacher.
Yeah. I was so, I was excited about my new job, but I was so sad because I already knew a lot of you. And so I was excited to have you in class. Okay. You have to log in order to leave a review. So if there's anything wrong with your login, you need to let me know so that I can help you. Okay. So I think that students can use the single sign-on. I can't. Teachers can use the single sign-on. I can't, though. I have to do it a different way.
So like log in using your account with that, that should work.
Yeah. Mine's different because I'm an admin.
Right.
Yeah, I know.
Mine isn't letting me.
All right. So in order to find your book, if you just want to go down here to where I put the collection together to the AP Lit. And I'm just going to click on one randomly. I'm not actually going to leave a review. I'm just going to show you how to do it. You could probably figure this out without me having to show you, but I'm just going to do it anyway.
That's a lot of steps.
Yeah. And they all open, all the windows open. What did you do that for? Oh, there it goes. Okay. I thought it went away. Okay. So when I get on here, it's the same place I go if I'm going to put a hold on a book. I just click on reviews and you can add a review right here. So you do the star review. I don't like it. It's okay. I like it. I love it. I want some more of it. And then write your review there. Now, something to keep in mind, because I didn't exactly put this in the PowerPoint, but writing a review is not as formal on this platform, is not as formal as writing an essay. But you still want to use the standard English conventions when it comes to writing. So you do want to use sentences. You do want to use organization. You do want to use paragraphs if you go that far into what you're doing. Yes. Okay. Now, if you're doing something like Goodreads, which I'm going to show you in a second, if you're on a platform like Goodreads, it's not an incredibly formal platform, which is fine because it's not college, it's real world. And so people are reading books and just quickly writing what they think about the book and then moving on to the next book on their stack or whatever. And so you're going to find that there's less formality there. And that's fine. But for the sake of this, because it's an assignment, you're going to want to make sure that you have some sense of formality there and that you're organizing and that you have separate paragraphs if you have several different topics going on and what it is that you're discussing, kind of thing. Okay. Also keep in mind, a book review is not an essay necessarily on an online platform like this. Okay. And I'll go into more detail about that. So type your review, do your star thing, hit submit. I have to approve your review before it can go on the website. I'm not approving to see if it's a good review. I'm only approving to make sure there's not cuss words in it or anything like that. Okay. And so when I approve it and it goes onto the site, I will let Ms. Bennett know that it's been turned in and you're all good. Okay. So any questions about posting your review first? No? Okay.
And
I have a question.
Next Wednesday. That's our Wednesday activity. It should just be on the Chrome.
Okay. Who had a question?
I have one. So
Yes.
basically, I have a book that's not in the collection. I
Yes.
have my own book. How would I post a review?
You will probably just need to submit it to Teams for Miss Bennett to grade.
Okay.
Think of that. So
Are
if the
you-
library
yeah.
doesn't have it,
Yeah,
then
that's a
yeah,
good
you
question.
you won't be able to submit the review. Good
Yeah.
point.
Aisha, is that you?
Yeah.
If you want to email me the title, we can add it to the collection anyway. So just let me know what that is.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, no, did you pull it up in Chrome?
Yeah, it's in Chrome.
Okay.
But anyway, we'll be submitting these on to Destiny in class on Wednesday. So that way we can kind of walk through the steps together to make sure that we all remember how to do it. That's next Wednesday's activity, and that's the day that it's due is next Wednesday. So a week from today.
Okay, distance people, can you see that? Is it sharing?
It says so, yeah.
Okay. All right, so writing a book review. How many of you have written a review for a book before? Have you ever talked about a book you're reading to another person, whether you liked it, whether you didn't like it? Okay, so that's a really informal way to talk about something that you've read. This is a little more of a formal way to talk about what you're reading. Something that you need to keep in mind is your audience. Now, you guys are not writing for the New York Times. You're not writing for the New Yorker. So you're not writing this page upon pages of a literary critique of a novel to see whether or not it fits into the genre that it's been published into, okay? When you come across something like that, that's intense. That's not what you're doing, all right? You are just writing a review like Goodreads or on Destiny to entice someone to read your book or warn them to stay away from the book, okay? You can say that a book is not good, but you have to have evidence at why it's not good, all right? Not just that you didn't like it or that the characters were unlikable or something like that. You have to come up with something, the evidence to provide of why it was not a well-written book or why it was not a well-told story or something like that, okay?
Or you can include things like trigger warnings, like you'll
Oh,
want to
yes.
avoid this book if, if rape scenes trigger you,
Yes.
something like that.
Yes, exactly. Okay. Let me look and see if there's anything left. So it's a short and simple, this is something I want to point out to you. It is a short and simple reflection or reaction to what you've read, to the literature or the book. We don't call them all. Oh, I must have not sent you the,
Oh, I thought I opened the new one.
that's fine. Can y'all
Yeah.
see that?
If not, I'm gonna print it on Kiddo.
Okay, it's not a big deal. Okay, so a few things that I want to tell you that you need to make sure you include in your book review. First, a very brief summary, okay? Posting your review on Destiny. You've seen on there that when you pull up a book, you get a pretty good synopsis of the book, right? And some platforms even give you an excerpt of the book. So if you go onto a platform to leave a review and you leave this paragraph upon paragraph summary of the book, nobody's going to read your review. They don't care. Okay. They know what the book is about. That's why they're seeing what people say about it to see if they want to give their time to it. Okay. So very short, brief summary of what you've read. Okay. 2, important and notable aspects of the book. This is where you get specific about what you've read, what you've liked about it, what you didn't necessarily like about it. Okay. There's an author, Marilyn Robinson. Have you read anything by her? Do you like her books? Okay. I don't like her books either. Now,
But a lot
that's
of people
not-
love them.
love her. She is renowned for what she writes. Okay. And I can't say Gilead is the first book I
That's the
think
one I
of
tried
hers
to
that I
read.
read. Yeah. My best friend gave it to me and I trust her with my whole heart. So I was like, oh, I love
They
this
used
book.
an excerpt of it on the AP test, which
Oh,
is why
did they?
I picked it up. Yeah.
Oh, that's funny. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So she's well loved by lots of people, but her style of writing is not the style of book I like to read. It is stream of consciousness. There is very little dialogue, which means that there's very little contact between characters. It's typically about one person, one character inside him or her. Okay. And so it's this string of sentences of description of how this person feels, of what's going on in this person's life. And it's so existential, I don't care. Okay. Now, that
Good
doesn't
Lord.
mean
Yeah, I
that
got
it's a
bored.
bad book. It just means that it's not something that I appreciate in books. Okay. So that's something that I would probably put in the review. This is stream of consciousness type writing. If you don't like that, you're not going to like this book. Okay. Something else that you can bring up is characters. It's a big deal. If you walk away from a book not caring about the characters at all, it probably means that they weren't well written. Okay. If you walk away from the book loving the characters or hating the characters, they're very well written. If you hate them, there's probably a reason you hate them. All right. Yes.
I was about to add like another question about the characters.
Yes.
I know in my book specifically, the characters in my book are different than the TV adaptation. So when we say like there's a difference between, or I like this character more when he's in the TV adaptation.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yes. Sometimes it's really cool that something has been turned into a movie or TV, because then you can say, I appreciated this more because I've noticed this more, kind of thing. Yeah. So that's a good point that you can bring that into it. Okay. What are some, the theme. If you're reading something that is, let's see, really wrought with meaning, with humanity, which is the books that are on your list for this assignment. Something that you can bring up is the way that the theme was portrayed throughout the novel. Trying to think what else. Varying point of views. A lot of people will comment on that if it's something that they appreciated or didn't appreciate about it. Okay. So when you talk about what you liked or didn't like, this is the type of specific stuff you like or don't like that you bring up specifically, so that the person reading your review knows, if I don't like books with varying points of view, then I'm probably not going to want to read this one. Okay. Number 3, your reaction to the book. What did you love? What did you not love? How did it make you feel? If you're reading a book with unlikable characters, spend some time figuring out why they're so unlikable and how that plays into what the author is trying to do. One of my favorite books is called Luckiest Girl Alive. And every character, have you read it?
I've heard of it.
Okay. The main character in that book is terrible. I hated her from page 1 to the very end. There was never a moment that I liked her. However, there was a reason for that. Just because you don't like a character doesn't mean the book is bad. You need to figure out why that character is not likable. Okay. The author did it on purpose. 4, stick to content. Your review is not about the cover of the book. Your review is not about you. Your review is not about the author necessarily. It's about the content of the book. And the 5th one, no spoilers. None. Not even a tiny one. None. Now, the nice thing about Goodreads is if you get into this app, if you leave a review that has spoilers, there's something you can click, and then they will show a warning that the review contains spoilers. Destiny does not do that. Okay. So no spoilers on this
No
assignment.
spoilers. You will lose points if you talk about the ending of the book.
Yes.
That nobody wants that.
The cool thing about Goodreads, and I keep saying this because it's an app that lots of people use to mark what they've read and to go and comment on what they've read. So people are leaving reviews.
It's like social media for books.
Yes, but people also go on there to discuss the book that they've read. So that's where you're going to get into spoilers on there. Okay. All right. These are some of my reviews. I'm going to show you 5 reviews that I put on Goodreads myself.
Oh,
This is a
cool.
novel called Normal People by Sally
Let
Rooney.
me just say, if some of you need to leave for RTI, you can. She's gonna keep talking because most of you are probably staying.
Yeah.
And it's gonna be recorded and put on Kidum, so you can watch it later. If you've been pulled and you know you need to go. That includes, you can come on in. If you are in NHS, we really need your help delivering teacher gifts. So if you are in NHS and you want to run next door, that would be awesome.
And if you want to stay, I'm only showing you 5 examples. If
Yeah.
you like,
And
are
then, yeah, so
dying
you
to see
can
them.
stay and then go. That
If you're
would be
not dying to see them, that doesn't hurt my feelings. Okay.
great.
This is a darkly beautiful
Welcome to
novel
Black
following
House.
the ins and outs of an unlikely friendship. As they mature both together and separately, Connell and Marianne experience and learn to grant the redemption, grace, love, and understanding that is so necessary to fulfilling friendship. And through this growth, they truly experience that people can change people. a fantastically human novel that both aches and soothes even the most abnormal of people. Note, this is something that I put on there for people because I want them to understand this. This book is not to be read quickly or mindlessly. Doing so would spoil what Sally Rooney is trying to show us through Connell and Marianne. Okay, so that's one example of one that I wrote on Goodreads. Here's another one. You can read that to yourself. Can you read it to yourself? You see it? Okay.
What trial is it? When I read this one, I was like, what?
The kid, the swimmer at Stanford.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's what I thought. And I like the fact that you didn't put his name in there because it's no her name. Come on in, get a laptop. Hey, this one.
How many stars do you think I gave this book? 5. I like it. I love it. I want some more of it. Yes, very good. I'm only showing you 5-star reviews. This is the thing. I'm 35 years old. I've read enough books in my lifetime that if I come across something, I'm probably going to know pretty quickly whether I'm going to like it or not like it. So if I don't think I'm not going to like it, I don't read it.
Are you generous with your stars or are you stingy?
Depends. But I'm pretty stingy.
Oh.
Yeah.
Grab a laptop and come on. We have a few empty seats. I think this one right here might be the only one left that nobody has sat in today, though. Yeah.
What do you notice I've incorporated in this review that I haven't yet? Another book? What else? A quote. Who said that? Yes, very good. Yeah, I incorporated a quote from the book. You can do that too. Okay. Here's another one. Have you read this? Oh, it's so good. I can't wait till the show starts.
We read, Danny and I read it. I did the reading. I read it out loud on our trip.
Did you? Oh, how fun.
Yeah, that's what we like to do. Get a laptop, come and see. Let's see where it is. I'm gonna give you a wipe to wipe whatever desk you sit on. Wait, do I get one? Wait, why don't you wait and do me last in case we don't have enough? Wipe the desk.
You see the last line? If you love the movie, what? Almost Famous, this is a book for you. Have any of you seen Almost Famous? You what? No, it's Kate Hudson.
Oh.
Yes, yes. Okay, there's something else that I commented on in this that I haven't commented on yet. What was the what was the word I was using in my PowerPoint? What's the element of the text that I'm focusing on in this review?
Ishmael, get a laptop, but wipe your desk before you sit.
Yeah, the format of the book. Yes, the way that it's written. Good. Okay, last one.
All the desks have been sat in already, so just wipe it. Wipe the desk before you sit. If they've all been sat in. I think right here maybe.
It's still one of my favorites of
So it just came out
2020, by
this
the
year?
way. Yes. I love Pride. Have you read Eligible by her? It is a retelling of Pride and Prejudice. Another
Interesting.
retelling. There's lots of retellings.
There
but It's
are.
really good though. Yeah. Okay. So my point of showing you these 5 examples of reviews that I've written is that when you talk about a book on a platform, you have to talk about it specifically. Okay. It's not enough to just say, most of the time, it's not enough to just say, I didn't like it or I liked it. Okay. Because the point of leaving a review, again, just to remind you, is to entice people to read it or to warn them what to prepare themselves for. Okay. Maybe I shouldn't say warn them to stay away from it, because you never want to warn somebody to stay away from a book, but you do want them to know what they're going to get into before they take the time to read it. Okay.
Which is why on the assignment sheet, it's going to say, who would you recommend the book for and who would you not? Because we acknowledge that not everybody has the same tastes. So you think about it like my husband might go watch a horror movie. I'm not going to.
Right.
I might go watch a rom-com. He would reluctantly only go if I made him. So you kind of have to know your audience. And after reading it, you can say, I enjoyed it because I like this kind of book. If you're not into that, it might not be the book for you.
Yes. Cool. So any questions about your review? Okay. If you need help, you can ask me too. You don't have to just ask Miss Bennett or your peers. You can ask me. Cool? Yeah. Sometimes I will read a book. I read The Nickel Boys by Colson Whitehead, which is in your list too.
Yeah.
And I was so moved by it. Typically, I'll leave a review as soon as I'm done reading the book because I move on to another one so quickly. But I was so moved by it that my review on Goodreads was literally, I'm afraid if I move, I'm going to forget everything I've read. Just trust me that it's so good because that's it. But I'm also like Goodreads, and I know I keep mentioning this app to you, but Goodreads is a community of readers. And so someone who gets on there and reads that is going to understand that. Destiny Card Catalog is not necessarily a community of readers because it's high school students who
Right.
might have to find a book that they have to read for class that they don't want to read necessarily. Okay.
So kind of
just
think of
keep
your
that in
own
mind.
classmates as your audience.
Good point. Cool. No questions?
Thank you so much.
Thank
Mrs.
you.
Whitmer, for coming.
Bye.
Appreciate it. Happy holidays.
Yes.
All right, so all of this will be posted on Kidem in the next day or so. I don't know how many, it looks like everybody's still here. Thanks for sticking around, guys. I have totally lost track of your chat, but all that stuff saves. So if you ask me questions on there, I'll go back and look at it later. Before I sign off the call, does anybody have questions that I can answer right now? It's like I'm frozen. Oh, I see. Nope, all good. All right. See y'all.